before I forget. All right, so thank you so much for joining us today, everyone. This is a presentation about, let me go back actually, about campaign hacks. So tools that are available on Crowdfundr to build your way to success. Some of these are tools that you might be used to if you've used a different platform before. Crowdfundr does things a little bit differently. So we wanted to make sure that everyone understands exactly how different. And if you're looking for a certain feature that you know how to apply it to your crowdfunder campaign. So there's Campbell and I. As you said, we're both in Vancouver. We've both been with Connection Point, the platform behind Crowdfundr. I think about 1.5 years for Campbell and about 2-ish years for myself. So we've been working with creators for quite a while now. So please feel free to ask us any questions. And even if we don't know the answer, we know who to go, where to go, who to ask in order to find you the answer. But what are we going to talk about today? So we'll go over all of these things and how you can apply them to your own crowdfunder campaign. So we'll go through stretch goals, add-ons and bundles, a landing page, what a rollover is, that might be something new for you, as well as embedded live streaming. So also don't feel like you need to write a bunch of things down. You will get an email either today or tomorrow with a link to follow to the recorded session of this. So just sit back and relax. You don't have to frantically write down anything. But let's get started. So stretch goals, let's start there. So stretch goals are basically used to promote any use of funds beyond what you need to fulfill your goal's main purpose. So when you create your campaign goal, you've created it ideally with the thought in mind, this is what I need to raise in order to fulfill all of my promised rewards and move my project forward. So sometimes you have the options to maybe add on maybe different features to your project, or you just want to communicate to your supporters what you would do with any funds sort of well beyond your goal if you do reach well beyond your goal. So you have a really successful campaign and people are consistently choosing your rewards, and you find yourself well above your goal, and now maybe you have that extra funding to provide something new and exciting to your supporters in order to boost your campaign even more. Sorry, I think Campbell and I both have problems with our voice today. So why would you do this? So like I said, you can add to or improve the quality of your main reward. So if you have a comic book, maybe you can add an option for a hardcover or a special edition or a whole other chapter, a bonus chapter, preview into a next issue, that kind of idea. It is helpful for encouraging your supporters to help share and promote your campaign. So this is helpful if you list your stretch goals ahead of time. So if you don't keep it as sort of a surprise, if you list them kind of like this example right here, and your supporters really want a next level of your stretch goals, they really want to be able to claim that. So they want to try to help you reach that higher goal. So it's a way to encourage them to help share and promote to people that they know would be interested in as well. Not only is that increasing your supporter base, but for this campaign, but also for any further campaigns that you do. Incentivize further contributions, that's pretty much a gimme. Trust and transparency and enhancing your craft. So I put this in simply because I want any creators that are new to the whole crowdfunding idea understand that this does not have to go towards anything more to give to your supporters. You have created something, you've created something that is well received. There is no shame in having the profit from that. So I do get this question a lot. They're like, what if I don't have any idea for stretch goals? Do I have to explain to my supporters where all of that extra funds, where those extra funds are going well beyond my goal? And the answer is no. This is not a fund raised for a charitable project or a nonprofit or something like that. This is, you've provided a service or a product and you are getting compensated for that. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want, you can absolutely use stretch goals as a way to enhance your craft by, I use this example because this artist here, I remember from her story, she said that the tablet that she draws on is something like 6 or 7 years old, which, in technology terms, that's pretty old. So she unexpectedly, and forgive me if I'm using the wrong pronouns, she might actually be a they. If, she went right beyond her goal. So she was like, well, I'm going to get myself a new tablet. And that means, better product for you guys in the future. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing this if you want to, kind of keep all of your supporters up to date with how your craft is going and how you're improving yourself. That's just going to tell them that anytime they want to support you in the future, it's just going to be that much better. So these are all the different reasons why you might want to do a stretch goal. So how do you do a stretch goal? Well, it depends on whether or not you have an all or nothing campaign or a keep it all campaign. So an all or nothing campaign is where you must raise all of your funds. You must raise everything and hit your goal before you're able to actually charge your supporters. So every contribution towards your campaign is effectively a pledge until you hit your goal and choose to charge your supporters. So if you do have an all or nothing campaign, you have two options. If you want the surprise factor, then I recommend you put them in as updates. You can enter them in the story too later on. You can edit your story even after your campaign is live and successful and you've charged your supporters. But if you just enter it in the story after the fact, your supporters might not know that it's there, because when you edit the story, there's no sort of indication to your supporters that that story has changed, unless you actively message them all yourself somehow. But if you enter them as updates, then everyone who's contributed to the campaign already will get an email notification saying that an update has been put on. And that will entice them to go back to the campaign, read that update and see, oh, they have a stretch goal now. Maybe I'll help them share to my community because I think they would be just as interested. And then, maybe they'll also contribute a little bit more. That's not the goal of this. The goal is to get new supporters. But those are your options if you have an all or nothing campaign, is you can enter it in the story. You can do that at the beginning if you like. You don't have to. If you don't care about the surprise factor, then in your story right off the get-go, you can insert what your stretch goals are, but you don't have to. Or like I said, if you want the surprise factor, you can enter them as updates later on. If you have a keep it all campaign or an all or nothing campaign that is rolled over into a keep it all campaign, which I'll explain in a little bit, you can actually change the campaign goal, because this is a campaign that is now charging the contributions as transactions as they come in. So you don't have to hit any further goal if you have a rolled over campaign, or you don't have to hit your actual goal in a keep it all campaign in order to collect the funds. So that is one thing that Crowdfundr does differently from, say, Kickstarter, is that we do have the option for all or nothing and keep it all campaigns. And here you can change the goal. So, say you have a keep it all campaign and your goal is $5,000 and you've hit that goal. and you want to put an update to your supporters that says like, hey guys, let's go for a stretch goal of $7,000. You can leave the goal as it is if you like, and just put in the update, but you can also change the goal and then use that thermometer bar as, you know, as is what it is, and it will then change to, you have now raised 5,000 of a $7,000 goal. If you do that though, my recommendation is to not just change the goal without explaining why, because that's not very trustworthy. It's not very transparent. It can look a little sketchy if you don't explain that this is a stretch goal. All right. So there are some best practices around this. You must make sure that stretch goals don't hinder your ability to fulfill your main project rewards. So if your stretch goals are going to mean that your rewards are now going to be delayed a little bit, or they're going to take away from the quality of the product because, you know, maybe you're taking away from some of the funds that were going into the quality of the initial project and putting it into these stretch goal rewards. You don't want to do that. And if this is a physical benefit to supporters, so if it's something that is, say, like, hey, if we unlock our stretch goal, there's now going to be the option for a hardcover version. You want to make sure that the supporters who have already contributed are going to receive that as well, or have the ability to up their pledge or donation and receive it as well, and doesn't only become available to anyone who wants to claim a reward from this point forward. So you don't, you don't want any special rewards available to only new people coming in, because then the people who got you there in the first place will feel a little left out. And while this project might be successful, your next project might not, because they don't really trust you now. So just make sure that you're doing what is best for the people who contributed to the first part of your campaign with your initial rewards and your initial goal. And then weigh your pros and cons of revealing all the stretch goals at the beginning or leave them as surprises. There are cases that can be made for both. You know, if you reveal them all at the beginning, then that might be incentive for everyone to start sharing your campaign more and more, so that they help push you towards that stretch goal. Or, you know, surprises are excellent tools for marketing too. You know, if you want to keep bringing people back to your campaign and you put an update and say, hey, new surprise stretch goal coming next week, there's benefits to both. So there really is no, you know, if someone asked me, what would you recommend, revealing them all at the beginning or leave them as surprises? I honestly don't have a recommendation. It is whatever you want, whatever you think works best for you and your audience.
Also, Shannon, we got a great question from Brett. Could you go a little bit more into what the story is?
Oh yeah, sorry. So your campaign story is, here, let me see if I can pull up. Okay, so this is actually my demo campaign that I'm going to bring up in 1 second. And I actually do use an example from this in this presentation. So this is my campaign for my book that I'm writing. So your story is the section down here where you describe who you are, what your project is, why you created it, details of the project. So this is a novel. It's a magical realism novel. So, you know, I put like, how did it come to be? Why did I decide to write this? Who's going to love this novel? We have a whole webinar on writing your story for a crowdfunding campaign. We have a toolkit and an article available on our Creator Hub, which I will show you at the end. But when I say story, I mean this little bit right here. So the main story of your campaign. Pull that over there. Okay, great question. Oops. So this is my best piece of advice though. Do not enter a stretch goal because you think you need one. And other people are doing it, so you feel like you should have one. Stretch goals are there as a tool if you think it will benefit you, your creation, your project, your craft, and your supporters. But your first goal should be a fantastic experience for your supporters, especially if this is your first campaign. If this is your first campaign and you plan on having more after, for example, if you are a writer or an artist and you are consistently pumping out projects that you want crowdfunded, your return supporters are going to be your bread and butter. So if this is your first campaign ever, my recommendation is to not do stretch goals, okay? Keep it simple on yourself, get used to the practice, and then maybe next time you do a campaign, you can play around with, maybe 1 or 2 stretch goals to make sure that you are able to handle it and still provide an amazing experience for your supporters. Okay, add-ons and bundles. So traditionally, campaign owners would use add-ons and bundles to kind of upsell their main product offering, their main rewards, or to allow supporters to claim more than one reward. These were common because the majority of platforms only allow your supporters to claim one reward. So can you see where I'm going with this? Crowdfundr allows your supporters to choose more than one reward or multiples of one reward or both. We do not limit your supporters to only choosing one reward. So that's why we do not have the traditional way of adding rewards to your campaign. And by, quote unquote traditional, I mean what you might be used to on platforms like Kickstarter and Indiegogo, where you would have to create items and then you would bundle those items together and those bundles would be your rewards. And if you had, smaller items that you might want to use to kind of upsell, and this is all a sales game right here. So add-ons could be, a good way to say like, hey, if you're buying, I don't know, if you're buying my novel, maybe consider purchasing these stickers that I also created for an extra $5, whatever it is. So that's traditionally what add-ons and bundles would be. But when your supporter claims a reward or just hits the contribute button and gets taken to the checkout flow, they will all see this window with all of your rewards listed, and it will say, this is the one you claimed. How many would you like? What variants would you like? Do you want the hardcover? Do you want the pink version? Do you want the purple version? And then, how much of this one do you want? So that's why we don't have add-ons in the traditional sense. But the question that we often get is, well, add-ons often help with shipping because, if you have more than one item to ship, you want to make sure that you're not overcharging or undercharging for shipping. But what we've created is add-on shipping in your reward edit menu right here. So if you want to create an add-on shipping cost for a reward item, that means that the system is, if you have 2 items, the system is going to take the shipping cost, the highest shipping cost for one item, and then the add-on shipping cost for every other item. And don't worry, I'm going to go over details, examples in detail, because I know this can get kind of confusing. So here is my example. So we have 3 reward items, a book, a sticker, and a notepad. So the book, I'm going to pretend this is a hardcover book. So it's $35 for the book, and then shipping for that book is $10. There is no add-on shipping price because the weight of the book is significant enough that adding a second one is basically going to add the same amount of shipping, especially if you're in North America. I don't know about elsewhere in the world, but North American shipping prices are crazy nowadays. But sticker and notepads, they don't weigh as much. So if someone is only ordering one sticker at a cost of $5, then you still have to ship it to them. So you want to add some shipping. So I'm going to say that's about $2. We're Canadian, so if these seem kind of high, that's probably why. But adding on a second sticker, or adding on a sticker if you claim a book or a notepad as well, is not going to add pretty much any weight. So that's why our add-on price is nothing. Whereas the notepad, it costs $15. If you only order a notepad, one notepad, then the shipping will be $5. If you order a notepad and a book, for example, then, or two notepads, then the second one will be an add-on shipping price of $2. So let's go over some specific examples, pretending that our supporters have ordered certain amounts. So for example, supporter number 1 orders a notepad, and that's it. So they pay for the cost of the item, which is $15, and shipping, which is $5. So their total is $20. But supporter number 2 purchases a notepad and a sticker. So the system is going to take, and the system does this automatically for you, don't worry. The system is going to take the prices of the items. So item 1 is $15, item 2 is $5. And then the shipping cost from the highest priced shipping item will be taken as the main shipping cost. So in this case, this is notepad and sticker. So the highest shipping cost is $5. It's going to take that. And then item 2 will have its add-on shipping cost. So since item 2 is a sticker, our add-on cost is 0. So that becomes item cost 1 plus shipping for item number 1, and then plus the cost of item number 2, and then nothing added on just for shipping the sticker. So then it becomes $25. Supporter number 3 just purchases a sticker. So they get, their item cost is $5 and their shipping cost for that is $2. So their sticker is $7, straightforward. Supporter number 4 purchases 2 books. Because there's no add-on, now it's going to do item 1, it's $35 plus shipping is 10, and then the same thing for item 2, because our hardcover book is pretty heavy and is going to cost a lot to ship. So it will add on the 2 item prices and the 2 shipping items for a total of $90. So hopefully this helps explain the whole add-on pricing idea better. We developed this with creators themselves who are pretty much pros at crowdfunding. So this is how we designed this, and it's worked really well for them. And I'm getting booped by a baby bunny. Hello. We love animals here. Yeah, so again, don't worry if you are very confused by this right now. Like I said, we will get the recording to this webinar as well as on our help center, which I will point you towards at the end of the presentation. I've written an article on add-on shipping, and I've pretty much taken these examples right from there. So these examples are on there too. And we're always here to answer questions if you have them. Okay, but bundles. So bundles are basically pre-packaged items as one reward. Again, traditionally, platforms would have you create these bundles as all of your rewards, because again, you can't claim more than one reward on other platforms. But with us, since you can certainly still do bundles if you want. And you can, not give them a discount. That's totally fine. But our recommendation is if you're going to create bundles as an incentive for people to purchase more, then you might want to consider just a bit of a discount, So like if you purchase this bundle, so 1 pin plus a gift box, these items together might be worth $30 plus shipping if you got them separately, but if you order them together, we'll knock $2 off. So that's one option that you have. Again, best practice wise, it all depends on what is best for you. And then, as you get more familiar with crowdfunding in sales in general, then you might start becoming a little bit better at understanding what your supporters like more than other things. So then you might start creating bundles as incentives for people who might only ever buy this gift box to, incentivize them to buy something worth $5 for $3 just to, bump up your revenue a little bit more. So it's just sales. You're more than welcome to do that. You would just create one bundle as one reward. Simple. Okay, landing page. So it's traditional, again, on other landing page, on other platforms, to have an outside landing page. And the reason they do this is because they do not make campaigns visible until they are approved and launched. Can anyone see a pattern here? So with Crowdfundr, we don't have the option for you to create a separate landing page because your campaign is actually visible before you ever launch it. It's not searchable, so they won't be able to go on, say, crowdfundr.com and see it in, the browse section there. They won't be able to go to Google and search for your campaign and find it. But you can provide the link to anyone that you want to, let them know ahead of time that this campaign is coming. You can provide that link to the campaign and have any interested people subscribe to the campaign to be notified by email when it launches. And this way you can build yourself a reservation funnel to boost your support upon launch, because it's a well-known fact that the better your campaign does in that first 24 hours from launch, the more likely you are to hit your overall goal. So it's a really great idea to build this reservation funnel. And you can do that directly on your campaign through the support or subscribe button. And the subscribe button is right up there. And then anyone who subscribes to your campaign will immediately be notified by the platform that it's live as soon as you hit that launch button. So you don't even have any extra work. Like, you don't have to go into an email list and make sure that you message them and say, okay, it's now live. All you have to do is one click of the button and everyone knows. It's wonderful. So how do you do it? You simply give them the link to your campaign. So you can find it in the URL bar up there, address bar, or you can click this logo right here, and then it will give you the short code. So if you want to put the short code to crowdfundr.com, which is fund us, into like your LinkedIn bio, or not LinkedIn, you can in your LinkedIn bio, but your TikTok bio or Instagram bio or something like that, you can put that in there. Or if you need it, there's a QR code right here as well. So anyone with that link will be able to see your campaign. They just won't be able to contribute until it is launched. They'll just see this not launched button here. And my recommendation is for you to let anyone know who lands approximately when it will launch. So I did do that here. Let me pull this up again. I did that here because I actually had, friends and family who knew I was writing this book ask me where can they know whenever I'm going to start crowdfunding for this. To be honest, I don't even know if I am going to do that. But when I do, I said, well, I'll set up a campaign as a landing page, and anyone interested can sign up here, and then I'll just kind of keep it updated here as to when I think it's going to be launched. I've already had, random people at the bank, for example. I was at the bank and chatting with the teller and telling her about my book, and she went, this seems very much up my alley. How will I know when it comes available? And I went, well, this is a great way to do that. So I gave her the link and she subscribed to this campaign, and there you go. I have already a random follower. So, there is one example for how to use your unlaunched campaign as a landing page to build your reservation funnel. Okay, campaign rollover. So a campaign rollover means that you have an all or nothing campaign that was successful and you chose to keep it running as a keep it all campaign. So this is very easy to do. It essentially happens kind of ad hoc. As soon as you choose to charge your supporters, all supporters who have made pledges, as soon as you choose to do that, the campaign will flip into a keep it all campaign. And then anyone who contributes from that point on, they will automatically be charged in real time. And you'll see those funds show up in your Stripe and or PayPal account within, well, I think it's anywhere from an hour to 2 days, depending on your account. So it's a good way to continually provide your product or your project to supporters if you have the ability to produce it on demand. So if you were thinking, you know, if this campaign is successful, maybe I'll consider a storefront. That's the idea of this, is that you can just roll your campaign over into what is essentially a storefront. So you don't have to do all the work to create a storefront on another platform or on your webpage if you don't want to. It's kind of already done for you. So it's like I said, continues to offer products on an in-demand model. So you don't have to set up another platform for storefronts like Shopify. So for example, this is an all or nothing campaign that was rolled over, and it continues to accept pledges, or sorry, contributions. And we know that this is an all or nothing rolled over campaign because it has pledged right here, but it is continually running. So it was successful, it was very successful, and he just kind of kept it open so that as many people who wanted this book could get it. And I think it's still running as far as I know. So yeah, that is one option available on Crowdfundr that is offered on Indiegogo. I know, I think they call it their in-demand model. But again, you also can just set up a keep it all campaign right at the get-go if you don't need all of your funds in order to create the rewards for anyone who claims them kind of ad hoc. So you don't have to start off as an all or nothing in order to get a keep it all like Indiegogo. You can just start right off on keep it all with us. So again, how do you do that? After you charge your supporters, it basically happens by default. So when you hit your goal in an all or nothing campaign, the system will not automatically charge your supporters. You choose when to charge them. You don't have to charge them right away, but we do very highly recommend you do, or very soon after you hit your goal. And the reason for that is because the longer you wait, the higher a chance you're going to have pledges not go through. Because maybe someone changed their credit card, or a credit card expired, or they don't have any room on their credit card. When they make a pledge, it doesn't hold those funds on that credit card and then releases them. It just kind of holds that promise of a transaction and then doesn't charge your supporters until you hit this button. So if you wait, chances are you're going to have around 5 to 10% of your pledges fail to come through. That's actually pretty normal. So just don't wait too long to charge your supporters after you hit your goal. And then basically your campaign will run as a keep it all until you manually finish it. And to finish it is very simple. You have your campaign settings menu right up in your upper right hand corner here. And then you have options to pause your campaign, finish it, delete it only if you don't have any funds attached to it. But this is how you would finish your campaign. Okay, and the last little bit we're going to talk about very quickly is embedded live stream. So basically what this is you can embed a live stream. Unfortunately, right now it's only through YouTube. So you would have to have a YouTube account set up for live streaming, but you can invite supporters to view your live stream right from your campaign. and it just pops up in your story. So again, your story is this bit right here. So this is administrative view. So your supporters wouldn't be able to see that. But it would just pop up in your story, and then people can watch you talk about your project, or, you know, read from your book, or show some of your artwork, or if you've created some sort of invention as an answer to a problem that, you know, a lot of people have, you can show them how it works. And then what happens is when someone is viewing your campaign and someone contributes, it will pop up every time someone contributes to your campaign in live time. So it's a really cool way to kind of bring your supporters together and make them feel like they are part of this event as you live stream from your campaign, and you could see it pop up. Jack contributed $55. Campbell contributed $100 and claimed this reward. Shannon contributed $50, et cetera, et cetera. So we've had this work wonders for some of our creators, in especially in that crucial period right after you hit launch, where you want the majority of your support to come in, because again, the more support you have within that first 24 hours of your campaign being launched, the higher a chance you will reach your goal at the end. So general rule of thumb is you really want to hit about 30% of your goal within that first day of your campaign being launched. So this is a really cool way to do it. As opposed, oh yeah, why? So there's some social proof, you know, others are more likely to contribute when they see others doing it. So it's a little bit of that mob mentality, herd mentality. Humans, it's human nature to want to do something when we see other people doing it first. And as well as trust and transparency. So, you know, there's definitely fraud on crowdfunding campaigns everywhere. It's extremely uncommon. It is much more uncommon than people think. However, it does exist. So for those people who might have been burned in the past or heard stories that make them nervous, they might want to make sure that you are who you say you are and just connect with you. And it's easier to connect with you if they see you talk, see who you are. Maybe they can ask you questions in real time. So it just helps you build that relationship with your supporters. And ensures them that your campaign is legitimate, and if they contribute, they will be getting what they expect. As for how to do it, I plopped this in here because I am not, this is not my forte. I have never done it. So it's not too hard, I gather, but our development team wrote our help center article on it. And then I read through it and made sure it's in normal people speak and not programmer speak. If anyone is a programmer or is like me and is essentially married to a programmer, you know that they have their own way of talking that doesn't make sense to most of us. So it is in normal speak, but it was written by our developers. So hopefully this article will be enough to help you with embedding your live stream. But if you are confused, then definitely let us know. We will connect you with one of the dev team and they will help you out. Okay, wow, we took up more time than I thought we would actually. So just to recap, we went over stretch goals, add-ons and bundles, your landing page, which is essentially your campaign, rollovers, and embedded live streaming. So where do we find all of this wonderful help I kept talking about? First, you can go to the Creator Hub. So this hub is our gift to you, essentially. There is no cost to go on this hub. You do not need to log in. You do not need to do anything except view the articles on the different toolkits that we have available. So, you know, if you've never promoted a campaign before, there's a whole toolkit that will help you learn to promote your campaign, including worksheets. If you're switching to Crowdfundr from Kickstarter and you want to make sure that you have an easy go of it, we have a toolkit on that as well as Indiegogo. There are articles. If you click resources, there's what we have, what we call the creator corner, which is the blog. That's where you'll find how to write a good story, etc. Other articles. It's also where you will find this video recording. So it's just crowdfundr.com/creator-hub. And here's the QR code if you would like to take a quick picture of that. You can get to the help center, so technical help for the platform, by clicking support here and then just help center. And as well, if you go to community, then you can join our Discord server. So we created this Discord channel from the Creator Hub that we monitor in real time during operating hours. So you not only can talk to us live if it's, Monday to Friday between, I don't know, what is it, Kemba, 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. around.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, awesome. Pacific time, we're on the West Coast of North America. But this is also your channel to talk to each other. So we are not the be all and end all. You all have wonderful ideas, wonderful experience. So hop in there and ask for some best practices from your fellow creators. They're great people. You can even just, go in there and plop a fun picture of your pet if you want to. Like sometimes we need a little happiness in our day. So just plop in, a funny video or a picture of your pet and everyone will be happy. Okay. I think that's it, Campbell. Do we have any questions?
Yeah, so if anyone has any questions, you can definitely plop them in the Q&A option, or you can raise your hand and we'll be able to go ahead and unmute you so you can ask them with the voice.
Actually, I'll just bring that up again. There is a link to the Discord channel too that I can just kind of plop in here for you now that I know how Discord works. Okay, so in the chat, if you like, I'm going to post the link to join our Discord if you like. There you go. And I guess we don't have any questions. So maybe if you're in the process of trying to write something out, just raise your hand. But otherwise, like I said, you can feel free to ask us in Discord or email us. It's just support@crowdfundr.com. Don't forget there's no R in Crowdfundr here. And other than that, yeah, thank you so much for joining us, everyone.
Thanks so much. Yeah, looking forward to seeing you on office hours or on Discord. But thanks so much for joining and have a great rest of your day.
Bye, everyone.